If you want to improve your singing, you should definitely record yourself singing. And I'll tell you why, but first just be aware that there's a difference between studio recordings and recordings on your phone, for instance. Obviously, don't compare those.
You're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I gotta give it away. Baby, baby, baby. Music's fading and the lights down low. Just one more dance and then we're good to go. Waiting for someone who needs me.
If you're gonna compare what you do, please compare it to something that's actually comparable, just so that you don't get discouraged and all of that. And there's also a difference between a dry recording, meaning it's just your vocals dry, and recordings with added effects on it like reverb that makes it sound more wet. And there's a difference between a dry and a wet recording. So if you're, for instance, in a huge garage with a lot of resonance in there, that will act like a reverb. There's a difference between that and singing in, for example, your bedroom. That would be very dry because you might have clothes and your bed and maybe a carpet, so that's dry.
I did, I jumped, I stepped right off that cliff without a parachute.
So there's a difference in how it will sound there, and obviously also a phone recording versus a pro recording in a studio will sound very different. So please be aware, if you compare yourself to anyone, please just compare yourself to someone in a similar recording situation. But yeah, why should you record yourself singing? How does that improve you as a singer, your vocals? First of all, there's a value in being able to focus on only listening to what you're doing, as opposed to when you're actually singing, you are doing the thing, so you're focusing on that. You're hearing what's on the outside as coming from, the speakers or the resonance in the room or whatever, or you're also hearing your inner resonance. So being able to listen to yourself without that inner resonance and without the doing the thing, you can easier find good things that you like about your voice, get a little confidence boost, but you can also find problem areas that you need to work on. And it might be easier to find them in a recording than to remember that, it felt kind of bad there when you're just doing it and you have to remember it after. Because when you get to focus on that, only listening to what you're doing instead of doing the thing and having to remember, the recording is constant, so you can go back and re-listen to it and really find out what you're doing and try to remember that way, So that's a huge help when you're practicing singing, because it's just way more efficient than to try to remember everything you do. You can always go back to the recording and know exactly what you need to work on, and also hype yourself up. That's very necessary too as a singer. You need to hype yourself up. If there's something you like, note that too. So another thing is you actually get to hear the sound, like I said, without that head resonance or without your body resonance, because your ears are right there and everything vibrates and so on. So you get this resonance inside. So it's also beneficial to hear what's actually there, how it sounds for other people rather than just in your head, because then you can also gauge how close you are to sort of your ideal sound. If you want to work on your tone or anything like that, maybe your runs, they feel on point, they feel very agile and nice when you're doing them, but then you listen back and they're kind of sloppy. So just being able to hear what other people hear without the resonance inside you and without, feeling all the things going on is very valuable as a roadmap to your further improvements. And like I said, to be able to gauge how close you are to your ideal sound. Again, please try to not compare to studio recordings. If you have a favorite artist that you feel have sort of the same voice type as you and that you would want to sound more like, many popular singers have videos of themselves singing acoustically just to the phone on like Instagram or TikTok, even YouTube in some cases, Ariana Grande. And I know Adele has that, many people do. And please compare to something like that if you're gonna compare at all. But again, that might also leave you positively surprised that you sounded more towards that ideal. So yay. So it's beneficial both ways. You get the positives and you get to know what you have to work on more to get where you want to be. And also, if you have actual problem areas, obviously if it hurts, if anything you do when you sing hurt, that is a problem. It shouldn't hurt. That's not to say it shouldn't feel, you can feel things. You should feel muscles move. You have that slow, gradual movement with your diaphragm and all that. You should feel things happening, but it shouldn't hurt. Because if it hurts, then you're doing something wrong. And so that's the best indicator, obviously, is feeling it physically, but also you can hear it in a recording. Like, for instance, if you have an excessive vibrato, that might have to do with your breath control. So you can hear problem areas like that and be able to fix them because you heard them on the recording. And you can always go back, like I said. So, and a final note about comparison: if you're gonna compare to learn, not to feel bad about yourself. It can be healthy if you do it to learn. And you shouldn't believe that where you are now is where you will be. That's the whole point. You want to learn, and you want to, if you're going to compare, you want to have that as a sort of goal, so that you know that when you get there, you'll feel very satisfied with your voice. But I encourage you also to enjoy those little highlights when you listen back to the recording. Enjoy where you know that I feel that this sounds good. Take that moment and enjoy that. And you can also compare, your earlier recordings to your newer recordings. So you'll have a clear, scale where you were and where you're now. That's pretty valuable too. So there are many, many, many benefits to recording yourself as a singer, to more efficiently know what's going on, know what's good, know what's not so good, what needs to be worked on. So I really think you should do it. And if you want to elevate from your phone recordings to know how to get your own little home studio and how to record yourself on that, let me know if you want me to make a video on that, because I have that home studio. I do produce myself. So let me know and I'll show you. If you enjoyed this video, if you found any value in it, I'd be so happy if you subscribed. And thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate that. Please leave a microphone in the comments if you did, so I can thank you. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Now